Thank you very much for asking me to tell you about my plans for addressing social housing and housing more generally across Greater Manchester if I were elected. As someone who works for a social housing company, I know exactly how important social housing is, not just in the provision of housing, but in ensuring that services are provided to their users which enable them to be supported in claiming benefits and in seeking help if there is debt situations that are arising. These are not just landlords who are out to make a buck, these are people genuinely making a difference, and I really cannot state how much I support social housing organisations and the provision of social housing. Well, clearly, whilst we can all see thousands of luxury flats being built by developers within Manchester city centre, there really is a need for decent social housing for rent. We need to approach this with a make, do, amend approach to use that empty housing and to make sure it is available for those who need it most. Including in that is tackling homelessness. And that just isn't about provision of homes, that is looking at the root cause of homelessness, because homelessness is a very complicated issue, and in some cases it is just there isn't a house available for someone. In some there are many complex and emotional and important needs that need to be addressed, and we really need to be working hard to make sure that those services are provided and available to help. We have many more people at risk of homelessness as a result of COVID and as a result of rent arrears caused by lack of work during the last year. And I would absolutely echo the cause of Sean Berry in London that these rent arrears should be forgiven, and that landlords who find themselves in financial difficulties should be eligible to apply to the government for funding equivalent to furlough for their loss of income. It's unforgivable that we would allow people to become homeless because of a situation that was outside of their control entirely. I think a really key point here is to mention that the make, do, amend policy, of which I am championing for this election, would include a clear retrofitting and improvement policy as part of improving those empty houses and making them livable. And the very core of that would be a development and expansion of green jobs to enable people to carry out that work and to make sure that those properties were not just brought up to a reasonable standard, but were fully integrated, fully green, and were really fit for the families that we'd hope to put in them. And that gives us a really unique opportunity, one, to develop those skills and to build on those skills within our population, but also to work with school leavers to enable them through a scheme of apprenticeships to move into these green jobs and to be part of improving the city region in which they live. And that would be a really sort of massively positive thing, particularly when I'm spoken to by young people within Greater Manchester to say that for those who are not looking to follow the traditional A-level and then route into university and into a professional job, they feel a little bit abandoned by schools and from the career options that are available to them. So this would give them a really clear route into fantastic jobs that would be supported by the Mayor's office. In addition to these things, I have already pledged that I would, if elected, make Greater Manchester a universal basic income trial region. And that would be working in partnership with the other policies around housing and provision of social housing to make the lives of residents of Greater Manchester improved and to ensure that rent poverty is properly addressed because people had enough money to enable them to cover their basic needs. Thank you very much for meeting with me, and I hope you found this helpful. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.